Aloha, friends. Happy new moon in Scorpio. This reading is going to be a little different than the others. Lots of, just this abundant energy coming in. I know I've been talking about this in some of my other videos, but the energy in here just to set up this reading is just so many good vibrations. It feels really good. And the energy of Scorpio is the death and the rebirth. And so we have the goddess Kali and Isis coming through for the dark and the light, and really just shifting out of this energy of suffering, of maybe feeling like the world is against you, like you're growing through a lot, like it's been too much, and maybe there were times where you wanted to give up, and this is your guides, your ancestors, your passed on loved ones, all of their energy coming through, telling you that this abundance is on the rise. And so much green energy. The 3 green crystals wanted to be with us, and this beautiful Lemurian holding it down for us here at the bottom. So these are your pick a cards. So you want to pick one of the 4. We'll start here. Number 1 will be this pink card. They're telling me to lift them for you. So this is card number 1. We have card number 2. Moving on to card number 3. And finally, we have card number 4. So I will give you a moment to pick your card. And then we're going to go ahead and start today with card number 1. Timestamps will be in the description, so you can find those there. Go to your exact chapter for whatever card you chose. And let's see, so card number 1, welcome. Wow, I feel this this just heart expansion and the connection. Thank you. They're telling me the connection with your heart and your high heart. Like there's this, I'm seeing like this figure 8 energy just wrapping around your high heart and bringing down and anchoring that energy into the base of your heart chakra. So again, with the green, they're like, look at more green. Lots of green, lots of pink, and just the overall love. I'm feeling a lot of self-love with this card. So let's go ahead and flip it and see what this first card has to say. And you got the angel Shekinah, number 39, Shekinah. If you're not familiar with Shekinah, she is the female counterpart to Archangel Metatron. And so Shekinah, just as powerful as Metatron. Another, it's like Metatron and Shekinah together are the ultimate creator, source energy. It's the divine feminine, the highest of all feminine energy. And she's coming through with blessings today. They're showing me like these gold nuggets that are coming down. So they're saying be open and be ready to receive, because what you've been asking for is here. And she wants you to stand in your light. She wants you to... I'm hearing her presence is so lovely. Thank you, Shekinah, for being here. I'm hearing her say she wants you to wrap yourself in in love. She wants you to really hold yourself. I mean, literally, give yourself a hug right now. Hold yourself, because you have conquered so much in this lifetime this far. Like, there's been evolution after evolution and so many things that you've grown through, and she is just coming through, and she's coming through with these just endless possibilities of what's to come, and she's asking you to be open and ready to receive. So makes sense why all of this heart energy is coming through. We're going to go ahead and pull some tarot with this card to go a little deeper. So let's see what wants to come through for this pile number 1. Can we get some messages for pile number 1? Oh, okay. Got it. And we'll take one more. Okay, there we go. All right, pile number 1. Let's see what we got here. Is this how we, yes, but flip, got it. Okay, got it. All right, so pile number 1, the energy is very grounded, and because it's so grounded, it's super connected. So look at this. You got the Queen of Earth and the King of Air. Wow. That is Mother Earth and Father Sky. It really is so you have, wow, so much powerful energy coming through. You have the Divine Feminine, which is the Divine Feminine, which shows that your masculine has already been conquered. They're asking you to soften into that feminine, into the receiving, so that what's coming to you can come through. And then you have just this beautiful grounding energy that just shoots you up into the ethers in these higher dimensions. And you know, one of the first things that I learned when I was going to meditation circles, I heard, if you want to go higher, if you want to connect with your highest self, you've got to ground deeper. And so they're saying, you've done this, you've listened, you've spent time outdoors, grounding, getting yourself one with nature, connecting. And because of that, you have this divine, again, it's this figure 8, this like infinity symbol of connecting, you know, the air with the earth, and the divine masculine with the divine feminine. And it's just this continuous cycle. They're showing me this image. It's so beautiful and flowing. And you're in this space now where, I don't want me to show you this. So where everything is coming downstream. So what they mean by that is that when they showed this, they showed the fish coming down in the reverse, right? And what they're saying is it's no longer an uphill battle for you. You're in a space where your only feat right now is to open up and allow yourself to receive, because everything is flowing downstream and you are right in the center of it. So everything is aligning. It feels so good in this energy. They're really highlighting this abundance energy here from the goddess Isis. Oh yeah, so good job. Pile number 1, you guys have, I feel like you've really processed through a lot, and you've continued. They're telling me it's because of your trust and your belief and your perseverance is what got you here. And so things are about to change for you, and it feels so good. Okay, they said we're done here, but we can go ahead and take a crystal card. So one last card for this pile. Was short and sweet today, but let's see what crystal wants to come through for you for this new moon in Scorpio. Is that it? Got it. So pink tourmaline. And I know on here pink tourmaline is, it says forgiveness, but they're saying don't mind the word. So really just tap into that pink energy. Again, it's that connecting the pink with the green and this energy of balancing the heart chakra with the high heart chakra and really softening into this feminine receiving and opening yourself up to a greater love. I feel so many good things coming through. So thank you, pile number one. It was short and sweet, but it feels so good. And we will see you probably back on the full moon should you choose to join us. Thank you. Aloha, pile number two. So you chose this beautiful purple card with the, I believe that's the flower of life coming through. So let's see what Spirit has for you today. Wow. Transformation. Yes. Feel it. This energy, okay, got it. Thank you. This energy of transformation, of the rising of the phoenix. Everyone, they're telling me that a lot of people glorify the rise, that, you know, the rise is so amazing. And there's some wicked colors coming through here. They're pretty awesome. But there's this rise. Okay, there are codes coming through. They're telling me there are actual codes coming through right now through this card. So you may want to screenshot it or just make sure you're paying attention so that you can look at it as these codes come through. Anyhow, there's this glorification of the rising of the phoenix, right? Like, oh, it's so grand when they rise up and from the flames and the ashes. But what they don't tell you is the opposite side. What's not shown in the rise of the phoenix is the burning and the ashes and the death and the suffering and all of the change and the uncomfortableness that you had to grow through to get here. So you may still, okay, thank you. They're telling me you are still in transition. So there are still parts that are in transition that might feel like, just don't feel good. Like they feel, it feels constricting. Like there are things that still need to be let go of. There are things that you need to allow yourself to move on from. And you're not quite at this rise yet, but you're here, you're in this center stage. And there's parts of you that have already risen up, but there are parts that you're still holding on to. So they're asking you to really allow yourself to just surrender and let go this week. You know, it's I talk about the tower moment, and this is what this energy is giving me right now. It's like this, you're in this lighthouse and it's burning from the bottom up, and you can either stay and burn with it, or you can jump and you might break an arm, you might break a leg, but you're definitely going to live, you're going to survive, you're going to get through it. So it's getting through that last little bit of uncomfortableness. Change, you know, I've learned this through so many of my transitions, that change, yeah, it's uncomfortable. We have to allow ourselves to get into those spaces where we feel things that aren't so fun, right? So there might be feelings like shame or anger or frustration or anxiety that are coming up for you right now, and your guides are telling you to surrender into it. Let yourself, it different from the tower, right? The tower is jumping out, taking that risk. This is saying, Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it all go. Let it burn up so that you can rise like the phoenix from the ashes and get into this next phase of evolution for your life. So let's see. And, if I didn't say it already, death and rebirth is really the theme of Scorpio. And this is new moon in Scorpio. So you may be really feeling it. You may actually even be a Scorpio watching this. Let's see. We're going to pull some tarot and see what else wants to come through for this pile number 2. So what other messages do we have? We want to connect, please, and get the messages about this last little bit of letting go. What is it that they need to let go of to be able to rise from these ashes? So what part are they not allowing, there we go, themselves to be uncomfortable with? One more they're saying. Okay, one more. So what is it that pile number 2 needs to let go of to surrender into this transformation? Wow, that one flew. Let me see if I can find it. One moment, my apologies. Oof, okay. All right, well, that happened for a reason. I'm feeling a lot of energy in my right shoulder. So a lot of, usually the right side is connected to family, to friends, to something outside of ourselves. So, okay, so what they're bringing up, let's see. So the first thing is you're not speaking your truth, or, okay, thank you, you haven't spoken your truth. So the one thing that's still holding you back is that you're allowing yourself to still be in situations where you're not speaking up for yourself, where you're not setting boundaries, where you're not allowing your true, authentic self to be seen, in fear that you may lose or upset someone, or you might be alone. That's, the biggest fear that most people have with not speaking up, is that they lose the people in their lives and they end up alone. And so they're wanting you to really, you don't necessarily have to speak up to let go. Thank you. But they're reminding me of some exercises that you can do. So of course we've heard about, about writing a letter. One thing that has worked in my healing is to go into the quantum. And so specifically, they're telling me to go further. So specifically, this is in relation to a mother wound. And can you confirm for us, please, is this mother wound in this lifetime? Yes. Okay, so this is in relation to a mother wound in this lifetime. So you're probably somebody who has started working in the mother wound, or maybe has even done a lot of work with the mother wound. And there are just these last little bits and pieces that need to process through. So what they're advising, what I'm advising you to do through them, okay. Oof, there's so much energy coming through. Okay. The advice that they're giving me is something that I use in my own healing journey. And that is taking time to sit in silence, close down your eyes. They're saying you can put on like a grounding frequency so that you feel really safe and comfortable in this space. And then close your eyes and think about a situation that happened with your mother that you were not proud of. It feels like, can we be specific with this pile? Yeah, we can be more specific, they're saying. It feels like an energy of not being heard. Like you would speak your voice, and either for your mother, it would go in one ear and out the other, or she would overpower you and insert her voice in places where you tried to speak up. So some kind of energy between you and your mother where you tried to speak up and you were shot down. It could even be something as simple as you wanting to do something like, pursuing an art passion, and her saying, no, that's not going to make money for you. You need to do this instead. So whatever the situation is, I want you to bring that vision of your mother when this happened. So you're going to sit in either in silence or with just a grounding frequency on, so you can feel safe and protected during this process. And you're going to close down your eyes and you're going to envision your mother in that moment in your third eye. And the vision, you're going to see what she looked like, what kind of clothes she was wearing, what kind of jewelry she had on, how she did her hair, and, or makeup. Those little details are very important. So you're going to envision her in that space, and you're going to envision her saying what she said to you. And then you're going to shift that energy by speaking up, and you're going to tell her, you're going to set a boundary with her. They don't want me to say specific because it's going to be different for everyone, but you're going to set a boundary, and then you're not going to see her react how she may have reacted on that timeline, because it was a lower level of consciousness, and everyone's consciousness has risen since within the last 4 years. Everyone's consciousness has risen, whether you believe it or not. Even people who you think are not rising, they definitely are. This is a united thing. We're doing this together. So envision her, and you're going to set that boundary. And so let's just use the example that you're going to say, Mom, I love to dance. This is my passion. I'm really good at it. I'm going to make money off of it. I'm going to be able to do everything that I want. And I need you to be supportive of me in that space. And then you're going to see her shift and soften into that nurturing, feminine mother energy. And she's going to say, okay, I trust you. I believe in you. I'm here for you. That's very important, those 3 lines they're telling me. I trust you. I believe in you. I'm here for you. So whatever the situation may be, that was just an example. But you're going to do that. And then this energy is going to start to shift for you. You're going to start to be able to speak up more in the relationships that you have now in your life. And you're going to be able to get through this rebirth and transformation. All right, so we're going to pull one more card. They're telling me we'll pull a crystal card to help you with this process. So let's see what wants to come through from the crystal energy for pile number 2. Oh, that one flew right out. All right, so let's see. Selenite. So spiritual awakening. And I feel like with the energy that's coming through with this, so first off, selenite is very cleansing. So it's a really good stone to have to just cleanse yourself. I'll sometimes just I have these selenite wands. I keep these little ones, or I have some larger ones, and I just keep them, and you can just wipe the energy off of you. If you feel like you picked up something from someone, it's easy to just take that selenite and wipe the energy off of you. So perhaps give yourself a selenite cleanse before you do this process, because it's going to bring up a lot of emotion, and you don't want to go in with any emotion from any other spaces. And then also know that this is going to be the cause of a deeper awakening, a deeper rise in consciousness for your mother, whether she is on the earth plane in body form, in spirit, or whether she has already risen to different dimensions. This is going to awaken the energy of consciousness through your lineage. So that is all we have for card number 2. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Aloha, card number 3. You chose this beautiful blue card. Lots of like flowy energy I'm feeling coming from this. Let's see here. So planetary wave. It says soul mission, trust the inner call, and soul team. And what they're really pointing out for me here is you have this image down here, and this is you. And then there's this connection into the ethers, up into the high self, the high feminine specifically is what they're saying. So regardless of whether you are a man or a woman watching this, they're saying it's a connection with the highest feminine. So this energy feels flowing, it feels open. It's an energy of it's an energy of surrender, but it doesn't feel like a surrender that most people would think of. For me, a lot of times surrender is like, I mean, I've been through some dark nights of the soul, and so surrender for me many times has been to that point where I'm on my knees and completely surrendering to a higher power. And though this is somewhat like that, they're wanting you to see how powerful you are within, that there's no need to surrender to anything outside of yourself, because we are all emanations of God. And so when you look at it that way, you can tap into your own divine inner source and connect with the Creator and be able to work from that space. And they're saying work because I feel like this pile, whoever chose this card, that you're really working through creating something. It's like there's something that's been in the works for a long while. There's something that you know is coming into creation, and there are pieces of it that you may have felt were missing, or you may have felt you needed more of. And they're just telling you that there's what was happening during that time is there was a lot of ancestry clearing. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a lot of these beautiful little stars all around. And so they're telling me there was a lot of ancestry healing and clearing that needed to happen so that you could get through to this higher space, to this higher divine feminine like energy. So let's see, we're going to pull some tarot and see what else wants to come through for you all. I'm going to do a little shuffle here since feels like there's some mixed energy. All right, so let's see, what cards do we have for card number 3? What messages do we have for card number 3 in regards to connecting with their highest self, being their own divine source? What other messages do we have? Oof, okay. 2 more they're telling me, so is that it? Yes? You're gonna fall? Okay, and one more card. What other messages do we have? Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Thank you. All right. So this journey, this journey for you that you've been on, They're going to go ahead and give me a little bit of a timeline, which is interesting because they typically don't. So within the last 2 to 3 years, take that however you will, because time is crazy right now. It's fast, it's slow, it's non-linear. So whatever 3 years means to you, you've been in this energy of wanting to heal and wanting to go deeper, but there's been like this stagnancy. So there's something that got you off track. There's something that shifted for you. It's like you started on this healing journey, not even necessarily, okay, they're telling me it's not, can you be more specific, please? Thank you. Okay, so they said you haven't really looked at it as a healing journey. You've just looked at it as this journey that you've been on where you've had to grow through some things, and it feels like they have been some very critical or very intense things. So things that just have not been fun. It's like the energy of these cards that I'm feeling is that it's like one thing happened to you, and then as soon as you thought you were through with that, another thing happened. And then as soon as you felt like you could take a breath from that, something else happened. And it was just this cycle, like snowball energy of things that are happening. And where you were on track. So the cycling, the snowballing, the energy of like feeling like the world is against you, or you're not okay, that energy was propelling you forward into the space of self-healing, of really working on yourself. So there were little things that were probably coming up, maybe some of them not so little, they're saying, in your life that you really had to grow through, that were tough situations. And what your guides were doing all along is they were trying to highlight that you were spending too much time giving your energy out to others, to other things, to other places, to other people, to other spaces. And they wanted you to take all of that and put it back into you. And you were doing really well. You actually were starting to feel some momentum. Some things were changing in your life. It felt like things were shifting and you were growing, and you were starting to take better care of yourself, which is the ultimate goal, to get you in a place where you take better care of yourself. You know, when we take care of ourselves, I think I said this in this reading, I may be a little off, but we're all divine emanations of God, right? We are God's children. God sent us out and said, you know, go out and learn, right? Earth is a school. Go out and learn in this school and learn everything, you know. And so we come out and we get in these spaces, and when we get here, we don't typically remember what we're here for, but we've signed up on these journeys, and we've signed up on these journeys. And so a good book for you to read would be The Little Soul in the Sun. It really is going to show you what it means to have picked or chosen your path when you came here. And it may bring some more understanding to and light to your situation. But they're saying that you were on target, you were doing well, and then something shifted you and got you really off track and has pulled you back down. And part of it, okay, thank you. I've just asked them what that something was, and they said part of it was the ancestry, was clearing so that you could connect with your highest self. Part of it was karma clearing. There were karmic lessons that you chose to grow through in this lifetime, and it was clearing and working through those karmas so that you could propel forward. However, I myself know this from experience with karma clearing, it can be very heavy, it can be very dense. We can grow through things that we feel are just not fair in life, and like, you know, it can set you back and put you in a victim mentality where, you know, you might say like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this always happening to me? How can this be possible? Or how could things get any worse? And then they do get worse. And so what's going to bring you back on track is getting back into integrity, because what got you off track is not being in integrity. So they're asking you to check yourself. If you don't have someone in your life who can be very blunt and hold you accountable for the things that you've done in your life, if you don't have someone like that, then you're going to have to do that for yourself. And they're asking you to tap into that and really take a, they're showing me what this is, but I can't think of the word right now. Like basically like write down the things that you do on a daily basis and go back and look at those and see how many of those things are done in good faith. How many, you know, so even just the smallest things, the way you talk to a greeter at a grocery store, the way that you connect or don't connect with somebody when they're checking you out, or, you know, when you're getting your AM coffee and you go through the drive-through, how are you with the people that, like, how are you interacting with people in relationships? Relationships is coming up very strong. So I feel like the core of all of this is growing through relationship challenges. And so look at yourself and see, how are you treating people? Are you being honest with them? Are you being kind? Are you being open? Or are you being judgmental? Are you telling white lies? Do you think it's okay to lie to someone just so that you don't hurt their feelings? What really, they're wanting you to check yourself and check your integrity with this pile, to know what it is that you're doing to self-sabotage and get yourself off track, because they're saying you were doing so well and you got in this loop and they're wanting to help you out of it. So I haven't done this for any of the other cards, but I'm going to pull another card or two to see what can help get you out of this energy, because it feels pretty dense. So obviously, you know, not lying, being honest, being in integrity, speaking your truth, but being kind and understanding, they're telling me, understanding that everyone is growing through something. Especially right now with this ascension, everyone is growing through something. And if there's something, they're telling me to go ahead and put these down because I'm just channeling. If there's something that triggers you, that sets you off, that makes you be unkind to someone, it's because there's something deeper inside of you that you're not wanting to see or you're not wanting to process through. And so they're asking you to really go deep into self and connect and figure out what that is, and then slowly start to turn that around. I'll tell you, for myself on my journey many, many years ago, it's been a while now, but I had road rage for a long time. I really did not like being on the road with people. It felt like a lot of energy, and I felt like people were rude, and, you know, they would cut me off, or they just didn't, it was like I didn't exist. Sometimes, like, I felt like I would get run off the road. And eventually I had to, you know, when I started my healing journey, I had to shift that. And that was one of the first things that I focused on, because it was something that bothered me so much, was having to drive into work and, you know, being so stressed out by the time I got there, or being so stressed out by the time I got home, because I had to deal with people. And so I had to shift that. And now I when I see someone cut me off or fly by me, I really just take a step back and first ask, like, am I okay? Am I harmed in any way? Typically I'm not. I'm just maybe a little frustrated that they've done it, right? But my car's okay. I'm safe. Everyone else on the road is safe. So I don't have to sit with this the rest of the day. I can let this go, and I can give that person grace, and I can understand that maybe they really had somewhere they needed to be. Maybe they were rushing to see a loved one that was, transitioning, or, trying to help their pet or something, right? Like, I really try to give them grace because I do not know their stories. And so they're having me share this with you so that you can start to have grace with the people around you, and you can be more kind, and you can take notice of the people that are triggering you into not being kind, into not being honest. And then honesty, you guys, honesty is a big one. That was a big part of my journey, was coming into integrity and honesty, because growing up in the place where I grew up at, there was just so much lies, so much deceit, and even just little white lies that eventually turn into, bigger white lies that turn into something big. And so finally I had to get to a place where I didn't lie at all. And believe me, sometimes that's really hard, because sometimes you are going to hurt people's feelings. And the people that are meant to be in your life, they're going to come back around. They may need some time to process through whatever's been said, but they're going to come back around, right? And so there's this balance that they're saying for you now, to balance not judging people right off the bat, being kind, being honest, and checking your integrity. Your integrity is what's going to get you back on track. So if you want to get through whatever you're growing through, you've got to get back into this space of integrity. And they're just saying there's got to be a shift so that this connection is there. Like, you're ready to connect into that feminine highest self, whether you're a man or a woman. Tap into that nurturing, loving, creative, just like self-love, like very being able to just like wrap yourself up and give yourself a big hug and love on yourself. And then that will snowball, as it did before, into bigger and greater and grander things. And the closer that we get to the creator, the more honest we are, the kinder we are, the more open we are, the less judgmental we are, the closer we get to bringing in abundance in our lives. So we're going to pull one last card. This is a crystal to help you through this moon cycle, this new moon in Scorpio. What crystal wants to come through? Okay, that was a lot. Are we going to take it? Yeah. All right. Balance. Yeah, the Boji stones. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this stone is like the female counterpart to a hematite stone, which is very grounded and earthly and connected. And this stone is the balance between the masculine and the feminine. And so they're really wanting you to come back into balance and to get back on track with where you were headed. So that is all for this pile. If this resonated for you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I hope to see you back for another reading in the future. Aloha, pile number 4. So you chose this beauty. Some of you may be familiar with these cards. So this one, they told me go ahead and just flip it. Sorry about that. This card is the Divine Matrix, and it has this image, this beautiful flower of life image with this point of creation. They're showing me in the center just this really bright bursting light that is coming into creation. And they're telling me with this card that they're wanting you to open up to believing, to seeing yourself in your situation, the things that you're going through in a different light, because what they're saying is that they've been trying to connect with you. They've been sending you synchronicities. You may have been seeing lots of numbers, synchronicities like 111, 333, 1212. Any of these numbers, synchronicities, you can look up online and see what personal message they may have for you. But they've been trying to, your guides have been trying to connect with you and to remind you that there's no such thing as coincidences. There's no such thing as like, oh yeah, that was interesting how that happened. And it was divine. It happened for a reason. So they're wanting you to open up to that energy and to really connect. Oof, okay. That was interesting. Apologies. To really connect with the flower of life and to know that what the energy that this is bringing through is the connection with your past, present, and future. So knowing that it is all one, all divine. So whatever you've grown through has gotten you to this point, to the present. And whatever you're growing through now is going to get you to your next present moment or the future, right? So whatever you're setting up, it may seem like the energy that I'm getting from this is like you may be working on something and not seeing results. And so you're starting to second guess or question or pull back. And they're saying, don't pull back. Like you're doing everything is happening divinely. It's all coming through the way that it needs to be. You have a really divine connection right now. And they're just asking you to look up, because sometimes you get so hyper focused on what you're working on, what you're creating, what you're, the energy is just a very focused energy. And so they're saying like, take a break, look up, go outside, look at the stars, go out into nature and just observe the beauty in her, and walk through nature and see like every little thing that pops up that they have me tongue tied, that will get you out of this hyper focus, because it's a hyper focus that you're in right now. That's why they're saying they're sending you messages, but you're not fully receiving them because you've been so hyper focused on something. So we're going to pull some tarot and go further and see what else they have for you. So these are the Dreams of Gaia tarot, a little bit different than your traditional tarot cards. Let's see what they have to say for pile number 4. Oh, okay. Got it. It's the first one. Thank you. And the third. Okay. That was an interesting way to get the cards. Let's see what they got. Okay. All right. So they have the the energy of the scribe coming through. This is a very, like, again, just a very studious, wise energy. Like, I feel like if you chose this pile, you're somebody who has like a very high intellect, somebody who is very smart, has knows a lot, whether it's street smarts or book smarts. I just feel like you carry so much knowledge, but it's got you upside down right now. It's like there's, I tell my husband this sometimes, so maybe this reading's for him too, but there is this energy of like too many tabs open, right? Like if you have too many things going on your computer, and there are too many tabs open, eventually it's not going to run as well. It's going to go slower. And so I tell my husband, close some tabs. Close some tabs. They're asking you, close some tabs. Because you have so much going on. And there's so many things happening that... And this isn't just... Okay, they're being more specific. Thank you. This isn't just knowledge of the present. This is knowledge that's coming through from all directions, all dimensions, all times, all spaces. So this is a very, you're a very wise soul. I feel that you have so much wisdom and so much knowledge that you carry within you. But just like what they're telling me is, just like any other vice, when we overdo it, it becomes detrimental to us. And so that could be, typically we think of things that become detrimental or like, addictions, but it could be like working out too much or eating too much or whatever it is, right? It's a vice. But for you, it's taking in too much knowledge. They're asking you to tap out. And by tapping out, what it's going to do for you is it's going to help you tap back into your faith and your trust and your belief that everything is happening for you. And it's this, this energy of faith is very grounded. And also they're really pointing out this turtle. It's slow. It's slow. So you may feel like you're on an accelerated timeline, like you're trying to take in this wisdom and this knowledge because you've got to get things done. And it's gotten to the point where it's too much for you. You're getting to the point of exhaustion. It's becoming overwhelming. There are too many tabs open. You need to close some tabs and slow things down so that you can have better memory and you can keep up with everything coming in. And not just that, we're shifting right now. The shift that's happening in the rising consciousness is shifting from a space of where we had to go out and find knowledge and, seek it and take it in, but we're not having to do that anymore. Now, in the new age, in the age of Aquarius specifically, they're telling me that this is the energy where we can tap in, right? Especially if you're an old soul. And I feel like if you have all this wisdom, you are definitely an old soul. And so you have all of this knowledge within you already. And so a good practice for you, there's two things. Breath work is going to be awesome for letting go, closing some of those tabs. It's like, and it's funny, they're bringing me back to the computer and what I tell my husband to close some tabs. But when his computer is on overdrive, when there's too many tabs open, it gets really hot and the fan kicks in and it's got to cool it down. And so they're saying that's where you're at. You're in that energy and you need to cool yourself down. And so what's going to cool you down is some good breathwork exercises. You can find some awesome breathwork stuff on YouTube. Just look up breathwork, guided breathwork, You can do quick breath work meditation, whatever it is. Type in some keywords on YouTube and trust that you're going to get exactly what you need. And then along with breath work, it's tapping into your highest self. And for me, the way that I do that is through meditation. So if you're into meditation, if you like guided meditation, that's great. For some, it's just getting out into nature. Others, it's just going on a walk or going on a run. Whatever it is that gets you to that quiet space. You know, I even sometimes for me, it's like pulling out a coloring book, a paper coloring book and colored pencils and coloring, because it slows down the brain waves. And once my brain waves are slow, then I can come to the point of creation and wanting to do more and disconnecting from all of the extra that's going on. And so since you have this excess knowledge that's coming through, it's starting to block you. So use the breath work to release, to let go, to close some tabs, and then possibly some meditation or some time in nature, walking, running, whatever it is, coloring that is going to get you where you can lower the brain waves and get into a meditative state is going to be really good for you to be able to tap in and just receive the knowledge from a higher dimension, right? As I said, if you are an old soul, which I feel like you are, if you chose this card, they're wanting you to tap into, like, you have an infinite amount of knowledge that can come through from past lives, from actually future timelines, they're telling me. And so they're wanting you to just pull that energy in. Writing would probably be really good, they're telling me. So just sitting down and free writing or tapping into that space. But your guides are saying you are disconnected and they're wanting you to tap back in. And then, okay, I just heard, as I picked up this card, I heard good things come in threes. So whatever that means for you, I feel like this is the energy of starting anew. It's the rebirth. It's the starting over. It's the new life journey. So, you know, this energy of the new moon in Scorpio is the death and the rebirth. So they're saying, you know, close down this energy of having to go out and get it, and tap into this energy of you already have it. And then that's what's going to shift you into this next life cycle or part of your journey. So let's see, we're going to pull one last crystal card for you to help you in this transition from the new moon. I'm going to get a crystal card to help you through. Let's see what we got. Okay. Lapis lazuli. And it does say past life. If that resonates for you, great. But they're saying specifically just tapping in to the energy of lapis lazuli. Now, it looks a little purple in this space, but lapis lazuli is typically like a bluish indigo color with some gold specks and possibly some darker purples. But it's really a third eye activator, lapis lazuli. And so it's tapping into the higher dimensions. It's tapping into your third eye to trust, to believe that everything is aligning for you. Thank you, Spirit. That everything is aligning. So if you have lapis lazuli, I highly recommend meditating with it, carrying it on you, keeping it close to you, even just sitting in silence with it on your third eye is a great space to connect with the energy of that. If you don't, you can look up pictures or you can screenshot this one if you'd like. But this crystal, I feel is really gonna help you tap out of that space. But again, you know, they're saying you just gotta cool some things down. Everything is aligning, and you're hyper focused, and they want you to just cool yourself down and trust and believe that everything is aligning for you. So that is all I have for card number 4. Thank you so much. If this resonated for you, please like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and we'll see you all hopefully for the next full moon. Adios.